do I turn this air off? Okay, guys, I'm gonna wait for everybody to get on. It's gonna be an hour to get home. Why is there a biker going on the wrong side of the road? Okay, so I just watched Joker 2, and I promised all the 4,000 people that joined on my live right before I went into the theater that I would hop on here right after to give you my reaction to Joker 2. Before I get into anything on this live, if anybody is going to say anything inappropriate, anything unrelated to movies, or anything completely negative, please hop off the live. I have moderators, and I do have somebody at YouTube who will block you and remove you. I am also traveling, so I cannot look or respond, but I can talk. So I just finished watching Joker 2. It was quite a long movie. It started around 2:20 for me because I was late, but it did actually start at 2:20. It ended about 30 minutes ago. I don't know what the time is because I haven't checked. The sun is in my eyes. So yeah, it ended about 4:45. So you calculate that, how long the movie is. It's a long movie, but I didn't really feel it. I did have a horrible snack experience, but that was fine. It was my fault for buying that. Came out of the theater watching. How was the flight? I feel like I need a hug. I feel a little sad. I feel seen. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. The movie made me feel very. I felt bad for Arthur Fleck. Like, I felt bad in the first movie, but then when he kind of started killing everybody, I was like, oh, like, what a bad man. Especially that scene with, like, Puddles and the other guy, but, which, by the way, Puddles comes back in this movie. But, yeah, Joker Folie à Deux. First of all, if you've read negative reviews online, if you've read, weird reviews online from the Venice Film Festival, or anybody who attended the premiere, and the reviews weren't, like, everybody has an entitlement to their own opinion and what they think of a movie. But I feel like if people went and saw this movie and they just went because they were invited to go somewhere, or, they're a person of media who's overanalyzing it, but I feel like if you've seen the first movie, you're very well aware of what this movie is trying to do, as opposed to what other Jokers and other Batman films or whatever. Because remember, the Joker and this Joker, the Joker and Joker 2, they're separate from, those Batman films. My all-time favorite is The Dark Knight, not just because Heath Ledger was legendary in it, but I just loved everybody in that movie, and it was just so much going on. But Joker 2, I may actually like more than the Joker, the 2019 Joker. Because I went into this kind of reading everything and looking at people's reviews and stuff and being like, oh my god, I'm gonna hate it. Like I said before, I like musicals, but I don't like them. Like, I like them I liked Wonka, but too much music, I don't like it. So I went into this with the expectations that I was going to be annoyed, that I was going to see some musical movie, some random love story that was going to bother me, and I was going to get bored, and it's going to completely go off track. Like, I had these weird expectations because of what I had read online. Whereas when the movie first news of it came out, I was so excited to see it. I was still so excited. But since Monday's premiere, I didn't really listen to much of what I saw at the Venice Film Festival. But since Monday's premiere, I started seeing the reactions. I was kind of like thrown off a little bit, and I was like, well, why are people saying this? And a lot of people post their reactions on their close friends. So I'm not going to say who said what, but it's just like, when you post something on your close friends, you don't want like the world to know. So it's like, I don't know what their public reaction was, but I was seeing that, and I was kind of like, oh man, this isn't going to be a good movie. Like, what? I almost didn't come to the media thing today because I was like, well, I didn't go to the premiere. I didn't get content, and, I don't want to write a negative review. Like, I just didn't want to, I was like, no, I need to go because even if I hate it, I got to be honest because studios need feedback. But I didn't hate it. I did not hate Joker 2. And if you're just joining now, as I said, if you are talking about anything else other than movies, you will be removed, you will be blocked. I will be notifying YouTube. So I am talking about Joker 2. I just left a screening of it. like I said, I left. I feel this is hard to like get out because I don't really know what I'm feeling. I feel sad. I feel like I need to go home. I need a hug. I need to like not forget what I saw, but I feel really bad like for Arthur Fleck, and which is weird because he killed 6 people, including his own mother. But anyway, you know, and it was giving like certain parts of it reminded me of Law and Order. Certain parts of it reminded me of an infamous trial in real life, and I won't name what trial that is. But you know, it was not what I expected. There were the musical parts. Spoiler here, so if you don't want me to hear me say this, please log off now. The music, you know, there's Lady Gaga has singing parts, but it wasn't overpowering. Like, it wasn't every 5 seconds. Like, yes, it did kind of appear in moments where like you think something really crazy is gonna happen in the film, but it fitted, and it wasn't like they were just singing randomly. Like, most of the singing parts were parts of Arthur and Holly's imagination or their fantasies. Like, they were still in jail, but then they would sing and they would be at their own talk show. So it wasn't like they're escaping and like singing in random places and whatever. No new people were killed. Well, that's a lie. So no people were technically like killed until something happens at the end, but it wasn't at the hands of Arthur Fleck, basically. So that was really interesting. The end, you know, you kind of leave. What a weird message. This is not a new car. I've had this car for like 2 years, 3 years actually. I wanted to trade it in for a Gran Turismo, but this car is paid off cash, so I don't really feel like having a car note. But anyway, back to the movie. So, oh my god, I can't see. Back to the movie. So, I was kind of left questioning if Harley Quinn was even real or if Arthur was imagining it, because towards the ending, I think that's the point of the movie, for you to think like, was he so desperate for like somebody to be there for him that he imagined this whole thing? Because she does disappear at the final scene. I'm not gonna get into it because I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm in Los Angeles, that's why. But it made me sad. Like, the director literally made me feel bad for a psycho who killed 6 people. Like, but I mean, we kind of learned that he's not a psycho. In fact, the person at the end who does what he does to Arthur Fleck is the real psycho, which kind of leads us to believe, could there be another Joker movie? Although Todd Phillips did say this is the last Joker that he's gonna have, or his part in the DC world. Somebody else could grab that and take it into another film. So it also made more sense because, you know, Arthur Fleck doesn't have the Joker's cut up face, you know? But the ending of this movie suggested that somebody else that is more unhinged than him, somebody else that is more unhinged than Arthur Fleck, could be entering into Gotham City. Maybe not in these series of films, but it kind of left it like that, because what happens to Arthur at the end of this movie is truly tragic. And I mean, yeah, the series, everything is a different ballgame, but this is more for like people kind of like talking negatively about Joker 2. I think it's a movie that you should go and watch. You shouldn't be afraid of the music aspects. It wasn't overpowering. This is coming from somebody who hates musicals, and I even went into Wonka, which is also a Warner Brothers movie, like hesitant about loving the story of Wonka, but hesitant about the musical part. And I think Warner Brothers does a good job of making sure that the musical part is not crazily overpowering, which I don't like. Heavy musicals, like, I just can't, because I want to get up and have a drink and dance if I'm listening to a musical. It's not a movie where I want to be sit down like really into it. So there were moments where I wanted, because I had listened to Lady Gaga's album before I went in to watch this, and there was some songs that are obviously sang by other people in the movie, and I already knew them, and I did kind of like catch myself bopping a little bit, and you know, whatever, but it's not a heavy musical. So yeah, it's a good movie though. Watch it, but be prepared to. Oh, embarrassing to admit, I may have cried. I may have shed a tear. I may have shed a tear at Joker 2. It is not like there were parts that made me cry. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, so that's my opinion of it. Go see the movie. Ask me questions about it. I can't really read them because I'm driving, but there are points where I like stop because of traffic. But yeah, I mean, I'm left feeling a little sad. I want to go home and watch cartoons. And I'm also sad that, like, after seeing this, and then hearing Todd Phillips say that this will be his last, moment in DC, and this will be the last Joker movie or whatever for him. I kind of want to see, like, what happens. I don't know. I just have lots of questions. It's not bad to have a lot of questions, but I feel like this needs to be a long YouTube video. I don't think I can get my words out for this movie in a TikTok. Heavy movie. It's a heavy film. It's a lot about mental illness, mental health, right or wrong, and I do think at the end Arthur does come to terms with, like, what he's done, and I think he sets himself free in a way, not by being the Joker, but by admitting that, like, yes, he's mentally ill, and yes, he has something wrong with him, but yes, he did commit those crimes because he did start to get angry and people, tortured and bullied him so much. But I think once he does realize that, and that he is Arthur and not, the Joker, that's when he kind of, like, becomes a little bit more free. He's still sad, but I think that's also the moment that we ask ourselves, was he ever really the Joker in the first place? What if all along it was this person that we meet in this movie? I'm not gonna tell you who, but we meet somebody in this film who kind of gives me, like, the real Joker vibes. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, gotta go home and get all these thoughts out in, like, a 1-minute video because I don't know how to say all of this in 1 minute, which is crazy. Who knows? I just want to go home and chill. Which one do I have to what? Okay, but that was all. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna leave the rest for the review. Yeah, sad. Oh, God. Alright. I gotta go now. I gotta emotionally get myself ready to talk about this film in 1 minute, which is not that easy at all. Okay, guys, bye.